This is the last FPL video I'll be posting for a month. Please check out the pinned comment to find out why. So currently leading the way in the Not So Template Super League is Andrew Easton with a huge 346 points. A massive congratulations for an impressive rank so far, Andrew. If you guys think you've got a shot at topping the leaderboard and getting a video shout out, why not come along and join the mini league? The code to do so is on the screen. It goes without saying it's been a fairly uninspiring FPL week, where I scored just 37 points, and that meant that my rank dropped from 676k to 1.2 million. However, I'm still in a much stronger position than I was this time last season. But anyway, on to my Game Week 6 team, and firstly in goal it's Andre Onana. After a fantastic start to the campaign, scoring 9 points against Wolves, it's all been downhill since for Onana, who's just kept one single clean sheet in 5 matches and conceded 10 goals during that time. Man United look all over the place, both defensively and offensively, and the only thing they've got going for them in the short term is a fantastic fixture run. They face Burnley, Brentford, Palace and Sheffield United across their next 4. I'm happy to hold on to Onana across these matches, but I'm almost certain he'll be leaving my team when I decide to play my first wildcard, which will probably be around Game Week 10. Start one and bench one out of Saliba and Udogie. I've decided to start the latter purely due to the fact he offers more threat going forwards, and I really can't call who will come out on top between Arsenal and Tottenham. Spurs left it late against Sheffield United last week, where they managed to turn a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 victory in the last few moments of the game. I brought in Udogie last week because I was confident he'd pick up a clean sheet, so I'm now in a difficult position, with him facing Arsenal and Liverpool in his next 2. So far the Gunners haven't looked overly impressive defensively, so I'd bet against Saliba keeping a clean sheet in this fixture, which is why I've decided to bench him. Brighton were impressive once again away at Old Trafford, coming away with a 3-1 victory. Estupiñán missed the game due to a late journey back from South America during the international break. But with a week's recovery, I fully expect him to rejoin the starting 11 for this tasty-looking home match against Bournemouth. The Cherries haven't gotten off to a great start this season, with 3 draws and 2 defeats, but they did impress with their performance against Chelsea last week, so I expect they'll be full of confidence coming into this one. With that being said, at the moment Brighton are a much stronger team than Chelsea, and I fully expect them to dominate in this match against Bournemouth and come away with all 3 points. After a strong start to the season, it's been underwhelming owning Ben Chilwell, so I'm considering moving him on for Fabian Schär. Chilwell got a surprise benching against Bournemouth, and in 2 matches this season he's completed just 60 minutes, so perhaps he might not be as essential as many people thought following Game Week 1. Conversely, Schär seems fairly nailed to play that right-sided centre-back role for Newcastle, and the Magpies now enter a fantastic fixture run against the likes of Sheffield United, Burnley, West Ham, Crystal Palace and Wolves. On top of that, he has multiple routes to points, clean sheets over the top through balls and goal threat from set pieces. Despite 4 blanks in 5 matches, Bruno Fernandes keeps his place in the team, and the main reason for that is due to Burnley looking like one of the poorest defences in the division early on. The open and attacking football Company is playing may have worked in the Championship, but Burnley are likely to be exposed playing that style in the Premier League, which is what we've already seen occur in their games against Tottenham and Aston Villa. They're definitely a team to target in my eyes, and with a player like Bruno being able to ping the ball freely around the pitch, I'd be surprised if he wasn't able to pick up an assist at the very least in this game. I've got 1 free transfer this week, and I was tempted to do the hokey cokey by taking out Maddison for Mbemo a week after I brought him in, but I've instead favoured using that transfer elsewhere. What do you think? Is a -4 worth taking to have Mbemo for his next 2 fixtures against Everton and Forest? For now, I think I'm happy holding on to Maddison and starting him this week against Arsenal. The Gunners haven't looked fantastic defensively so far this campaign, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this one being a high-scoring affair. I lost considerable rank after captaining Maddison last week for his 1-pointer, but I am somewhat grateful, as Haaland could have quite easily netted a hat-trick against West Ham. Marcus Rashford was lively in the first half of the game versus Brighton, but in the end he never really looked like returning FPL points. I would say that Rashford is the marginally better asset to own in FPL over Fernandes, purely due to goal threat, and I haven't really seen Fernandes challenge the keeper at all this season. Having said that, I'm happy with holding on to both these players for this upcoming fixture against Burnley. There should be plenty of space for Fernandes to thread the ball through to the likes of Rashford, who I also think will be given plenty of space to run into down the left side of the pitch. With so many good midfielders in the game, I'm wondering whether it's worth moving on one of the United assets, despite their decent fixtures. Saka looked to be one of the most value for money assets to go for in FPL when the game launched, but just recently he hasn't lived up to the standards many of us were expecting. Although he's already picked up 2 goals and 2 assists, he hasn't gotten into nearly as many decent attacking positions as he did this time last season, and I just think it's something we need to monitor. Another thing I've noticed is that although Arsenal have started the season well, they haven't exactly dominated their opponents, which definitely puts me off doubling up on their attacking assets. Arsenal have a mixed run of fixtures with Champions League games in between, and I just think there are better teams elsewhere to target. A few weeks ago, Moussa Diaby was incredibly unlucky not to score in the game against Everton, and this weekend he was unlucky not to return a double-digit haul after his goal from open play was ruled out due to a marginal offside. It's been a mixed start to the season for Aston Villa, who dominated against some of the lower quality sides, but really struggled to compete against the likes of Newcastle and Liverpool. This upcoming away game against Chelsea is a match that I really can't predict the outcome of. Although the Blues haven't started the season well, they haven't looked too bad defensively. With that being said, Diaby offers fantastic value for money, and I can see myself holding on to him till the second half of the season. With 4 assists in 5 games, Ollie Watkins joins Diaby for my Aston Villa double-up. At 8 million, it's been disappointing owning Watkins and not seeing him get on the score sheet yet. However, Villa have had some tricky fixtures, and very shortly their fixtures do take a turn for the better. Watkins is putting up some decent attacking numbers, so I still think he's a viable hold for now, although the fact that he's lost penalties does detract slightly from his FPL appeal. With that taken into account, I still think that Watkins is a good option. Villa have scored 11 goals in their opening 5 Premier League games, and they arguably could have had more, so it's only a matter of time before he gets his goal. Erling Haaland put up a ridiculous XG of 2.56 in the game against West Ham, and after watching the highlights, I was super relieved as a Maddison captainer to see the Norwegian only return a single goal. He put a couple of efforts just wide, had 2 shots cleared off the goal line, and could have quite easily tapped in the ball from Bernardo Silva's shot, so I really did get away with one last week. This week Haaland is quite clearly the standout captain to go for. He almost always performs well at home, and although Nottingham Forest have improved, I still think City will find a way of scoring a few goals. One player I'm of course keeping a close eye on is Julian Alvarez, who's already given FPL managers who went with him an early advantage, which means that on the bench I've got Areola, Saliba, Bayer and Cauley Woodrow, so I'm on the fence over playing my free hit this week. The main reason for wanting to play it is because I think there could be a huge upswing in points compared to my current team. This week my players are playing against one another. Most of them have tough fixtures, and I'd be happy with this current team after game week 6 for the next couple of weeks before I plan to wildcard, so I think a free hit could potentially be really beneficial. For those of you wondering what a free hit would look like, this is the team that I'd most likely go with. Pope in goal, a back 3 of Trippier, Shah and Estepinian, a midfield 5 of Mbemo, Salah, Fernandes, Eze and either March or Matoma, and then Alvarez and Haaland up front, which gives me 8 changes from my original starting 11. The cheap bench then leaves me with 0.0 million in the bank. So what's your thoughts? Do you think I should pull the trigger on this? Let me know down below in the comments. As I mentioned before, I'm taking a month's break off of YouTube, so I want to wish you all the best of luck between now and then, and I really look forward to returning when the time's right. Thanks for watching guys, take care and good luck for the upcoming game week.